Because the daughter's IQ was only 78, the mother cruelly decided to abandon her. However, she didn't notice that the IQ was suddenly skyrocketing. In this way, the mother missed out on a genius daughter. 20 years later, the abandoned girl was adopted by a nightclub woman. On the surface, she was a rural country bumpkin, but in reality, she had already used her exceptional intelligence to become the founder of a top global group. Not only did the richest heir relentlessly chase after her, even top jewelry designers were her little fans. One day, the family matriarch learned that the granddaughter abandoned by the daughter-in-law was living in the countryside, so she had her eldest grandson bring the granddaughter back to enjoy a life of luxury. But as soon as the older brother arrived in the countryside, he looked at the girl raised by a nightclub with disdain, and told her he would never acknowledge her as his sister raised by a nightclub woman. However, the girl wasn't one to be easily intimidated. She not only slapped him hard, but also kicked him out the door. After all, she didn't care about such a small family, but the foster mother hoped he would return, since there were still the people closest to her in the family. So the girl followed her foster mother's advice and prepared to go home. But as soon as she arrived, she encountered the mother who had abandoned her, and had adopted a scheming girl with an IQ of 150. Surprisingly, after so many years, the mother still looked down on her for having an IQ of only 78. If it weren't for the matriarch insisting on bringing her back, she would have never acknowledged this mother. The scheming girl, wanting to make the girl a laughingstock, deliberately presented a $15 necklace as a gift, and claimed it was designed by a top master. She thought that a country bumpkin wouldn't be able to tell the difference in jewelry quality, but the girl wasn't having any of it. She immediately called her little fan, a jewelry design master, on video. Everyone was shocked when they heard that this country bumpkin really knew the top master. That was someone even top billionaires couldn't get close to. The master immediately saw that the necklace was cheap and low quality. Now, the scheming girl was completely terrified. She never expected this country bumpkin would know the top design master, so she quickly lied, saying she had been tricked too. But the master wasn't tolerating it. He immediately threatened to sue the scheming girl for fraud, demanding a $5 million settlement, and said it would be a pocket money gift for the girl. But the mother, wanting to protect the scheming girl's future, threatened to kick the girl out if she didn't make the master withdraw the lawyer's letter. Before she finished speaking, the matriarch made her voice heard. Seeing the grandmother and third brother appear, the girl finally smiled, because since childhood, these were the only two people who truly loved her. Her real reason for coming home was to protect the family for the grandmother. After a brief chat, the third brother brought the gift he had bought for the sister lost for 20 years, and, to reassure her, firmly stated that his only sister was the girl. He had never acknowledged that scheming foster sister. This made the mother so angry she could have exploded. After all, in this family, only the foster daughter and the eldest stood on her side. Just then, the master's lawyer letter arrived. When the mother saw the master had indeed sent the letter and demanded a $5 million settlement, she immediately began pleading with the matriarch. But the matriarch stood by the girl, saying the girl did nothing wrong and scolding her mother for the way she raised her child. Unable to do anything, the mother reluctantly transferred the money to the girl. But the girl didn't care about the $5 million. She quickly transferred it to a charity organization. By dinner time, due to the family's engagement contract with the richest family, the grandmother hoped she would marry into the richest family. The scheming girl didn't like this one bit. After all, it was agreed that she would marry the richest heir. But the grandmother said since the real granddaughter had returned, the engagement should go to her. The mother, however, said the girl's background didn't deserve the richest heir. When she learned the man she was supposed to marry was the richest heir, she suddenly remembered that was her ex-boyfriend she had recently dumped. So without hesitation, she blocked the richest heir's contact, and then told the grandmother she planned to give the engagement to the scheming foster sister. This left the whole family stunned. They never expected the heir they hoped to marry into was actually a little lapdog the girl couldn't get rid of. Soon it was time for the scheming girl and the richest heir's engagement banquet. All the top families came to witness the grand alliance between the wealthy families. The older brother warned the girl not to have any thoughts about the richest heir. Since she gave him up to the foster sister, she should stay in the corner and not cause trouble. However, the girl couldn't care less, because soon, she was going to slap them all in the face. At that moment, the richest heir had arrived in the countryside, but couldn't find the girl. As he was still angry at her sudden disappearance, he received a call from his men, and learned that the girl was currently at the engagement banquet in the capital. He immediately prepared to return. At that point, the guests had been waiting a long time for the heir, and the girl feared he might flee the wedding. She definitely didn't want to be with this clingy man, which was why she had dumped him in the first place. At that moment, the mother came over and mocked the girl, saying the foster daughter was about to become the richest heir's wife, and advised her to quietly wait to be kicked out. But little did she know, in just 1 minute, she was about to be slapped in the face. Since the richest heir had not arrived, the grandmother decided to take matters into her own hands and recognize the engagement. But before she could announce it, the heir kicked the door open and stormed in. Just as the foster daughter was about to hug her fiancé, the man surprisingly walked straight through the crowd and stood in front of the girl, and immediately asked her why she broke up with him. This left the whole family dumbfounded.